Okay, in this video, we are going to talk about Photoshop mockups. Now, I did a demonstration of this in class and explained what a Photoshop mockup is. But again, very quickly, a mockup is a Photoshop file that's designed, kind of designed by somebody else that we download from certain websites that offer free mockups. And I'll go through a couple of those in this demo. And we can use them to show our projects. And what they are kind of realistic depictions of how a client would actually see your work if it was actually printed. So in other words, if we were doing a package label, we can do a package label in InDesign or Photoshop and show it just as a flat piece of art, or we can download a mockup and put that design inside of a Photoshop mockup, which is, looks three-dimensional, and show it to a client as it would appear on that bottle or package or billboard or whatever mockup you designed. And you'll see this much closer when we you'll understand this much better when you actually see the mockup. Okay, so let me start by telling you what we're going to do, and then we'll walk through the steps on how to achieve that. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to assume that we have a client that is going to market a line of glucosamine chews for dogs. Okay, so my dog is on that as well. And this is a fictitious company, so it's not real. But we're going to design a package for that client, and we're going to insert the graphics inside of a mockup. And I have downloaded the mockup. I have that on Canvas for you. That's the demonstration we're going to be doing in class. So you have all the assets, and it's just a matter of putting it together and kind of understanding how a mockup is built. So with that, let's go right to sharing my screen. And let me first of all show you what exactly we're going to be achieving. Okay, and I'm just going to open this up right here. So this is what we're going to build. Okay, this is the vitamin bottle of glucosamine chews. We've designed this graphic here, and I'm not going to go in so much in as to how this design came about. But the way it usually comes about is the designer will get all of the information and then do a sketch, start doing thumbnails, what we call thumbnails, and they'll generate a variety of different ideas. And with those ideas, they'll choose a few to develop and then present to a client. So we're going to assume that that has already been done. This is not necessarily a design class, but that we have chosen this design, and now we're going to produce it. Now, one of the things that the client has given us is, first of all, they've given us the copy, all of the text that they want on the vitamin bottle. And they've also given us a photograph, not a photograph, but they've said that they wanted a golden retriever on the bottle. And you'll see in pet stores that golden retrievers are used quite a bit in food packaging and, pet packaging, etc. So we are going to be looking for a golden retriever photograph or illustration. I've already found this one. I've put it in the zip file, so you already have this image. But if we were doing this from scratch, we would create a thumbnail, and then we would, again, find the assets that we need to complete this project. Okay, so this is the final thing. This is what we're going to try and achieve here. So, okay. Now, what I've done here is I'm on a site right now called freepik.com. And FreePik is a website that allows you to download free mockups. And so if you go to freepik.com, and we did this in class the other day, you can search for whatever mockup you're looking for. So in this case, let's say I was looking for a vitamin jar. So I would come into the search. Now you can also sign up for a FreePik account. You will have to pay for it. I suggest while you're a student in class that you just, not spend any money and signing up for anything, unless you are doing this for an actual client and you're doing you have a going business, then you probably would want an account. You just simply search for the mockup that you're looking for and then download the mockup. So if I did, let's say, wine bottle mockup, let's see what comes up here. Okay. All right. So these are all, let's say you were doing a design for a wine bottle and you wanted to show your client what that wine bottle looked like in, a particular scene. You would click on that and you would be able to download this mockup. And when you did your design, the client would see it in this type of photograph. And it's really nice to show your work this way as opposed to just a plain, simple graphic. Okay, so now let's go to another site, which is called graphicpair.com. So we have freepik.com, we have graphicpair.com. Now with GraphicPair, you're going to have to actually create an account. And it'll say sign up for an account, go through the instructions. It doesn't cost you anything to create an account, but once you do, you will have active membership, free active membership. And you need this to download some of these mockups. Now, some of the good mockups, and probably most of the good mockups, require a premium account, which means that you have to pay for it. So in that sense, if you look at some of these here, if I click on one of these, you'll see that it says premium account required. Okay, and I found that, and the problem is you're going to have to keep searching page by page to find the free ones or the ones that the active account will allow you to, if you have an free active account, will allow you to download. So in that case, you would have to just keep going. I'm going to click View All Mockups. And what I suggest you do on this site is just go about 2 or 3 pages in, okay? Because usually the first few pages are the premium account ones. I'm going to go a few pages in, and then I'm just going to randomly click on one, and nope, this is a premium account. And you'll notice that a lot of these are premium account. That's why they want to get you to sign up and, pay your money and so forth. This one here, I believe, is an active membership account. Okay, so if you register and set up an account, you have free active membership. This one you can download and you get the mock-up for this particular one. Okay, so these are 2 sites that you can use, freepik.com and GraphicPair for mockups. So bookmark that, and you'll probably maybe down the road want to use more mockups for your projects. Okay, we in this demonstration are going to use a mockup that I am already giving you, and you will get all of your assets by downloading the Dog Vitamin Asset Zip under Assignments. If you go to your assignments, I will activate this, and it will say, you'll see it here in the tutorials, and my computer seems to be running a little bit slow this morning. Okay, it will say Mockup in-class demo. Okay, so you'll click on that and you'll come to Photoshop Mockups in-class demo. Download this. It will download to your desktop the zip file. Double click the zip file, open up the folder, and when you open up that folder, you will see under Dog Vitamin Assets, you will see the Dog Vitamin Mockup PNG. That's what I just showed you right now. This is just an example of what it's going to look like when it's done. This is the Golden Retriever graphic. This is the logo that you're going to use. And this is the vitamin jar mockup. Okay, now when I downloaded this initially, it was for vitamins, for humans, but we're going to change this and we're going to make it dog vitamins. Okay, and that's the whole purpose of this, this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up this vitamin jar PSD. Okay, and we'll double click on that, and that will take us to Photoshop and open up this mockup. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're seeing here. We're seeing a Photoshop graphic of the mockup. We're seeing the layers here. Now remember, this was designed by another designer, and they offer it up to free pick. I think they get paid for, you know, mockups. There are sites, YouTube videos that teach you how to make your own mockup. It's a little bit involved. Actually, it's kind of more advanced Photoshop. But what we do is we just download mockups that other designers have made. And actually all it is just the jar. Okay, so in a mockup, what you have is you have a layer, and usually that layer, one of the layers that you can modify are usually in red. Okay, not all mockups are like that, but most of them are in red. And when you see a red square here, and you see this smart object thumbnail, okay, that my cursor is pointing to, and it says change here, that is the graphic that you're going to replace. So if I click on this graphic here where it says change here, if I double click on the smart object, I come to almost another Photoshop file. Okay, notice this is the main file I was on, but when I double click this, I got another file that opened up. Okay, this is a separate file, but it's a smart object, so it's linked to this main file. So we're going to change all the graphics on this page, and then we're going to save it. And when we save it, it's going to appear here in the mockup. Okay, and you'll kind of understand what I mean when we start doing this. Okay, so this is the layer of all the graphics that are in the example. If I turn the eyeball off, we get nothing. Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to turn the eye off because we don't want this graphic. Okay, we don't want to show that graphic. I could delete this layer, but I'm going to keep this layer here, and I'm going to create another layer. Okay, so I'm going to go down to my create new layer icon here. It's the plus sign. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to create a new layer. And this is the layer that we're going to, I'm going to put the dog on. Okay, the photograph of the dog. And so in that case, what I think I'll do is I'll name this layer, and I'll name this the dog photo. Okay. And I'm going to have several layers in this. I'm going to have dog photo, and we're going to have text layers, and we're going to have a logo layer, and so forth. So let me just kind of pull this up so that we can see. We can always see what we're looking at here. Let me just delete that, or just minimize that. What I'm going to do here is just open this up, and leave this up here so that we can kind of reference this. We can always reference what it is we're trying to do here. Okay. So as you can see, we have a golden retriever here, and that's going to be on this dog photo layer. Okay, so let's go get that golden retriever, and we're going to open up our folder, and we can see that here is the golden retriever photograph. Actually, it's an illustration. It's really done well too. Really like this illustration. It just shows the dog better than a photograph does. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. I'm going to highlight this layer here, dog photo. Okay, that's the active layer. And then I'm going to grab this photograph, and I'm just simply drag and drop it right on this layer. Okay, so here is the golden retriever layer. And if we look at our example here, the golden retriever is kind of coming off the edge of this bottle. So this edge right here represents the edge of this bottle. So I'm going to position this dog kind of over here like that. Okay. And so if we look at this, we can see that that's about in the position that it is. You can see a little bit of this ear coming out. Okay, so I might move him over just a little bit more like that. Okay, and the top of his head, I'm assuming this is a male dog. And where is the neck coming from? Okay, we can see that little V right here, or this little crest right here, and that's this. So it tells me that this might go up a little bit, just a hair. Okay, something like around there. Okay, it doesn't have to be quite exact, but again, I want you to start really looking at space and really starting to see the positioning of things. Okay, so we'll come over here and we'll just hit our return key or enter key and set that, and that is the golden retriever. Okay, so what it did was it replaced the name that I gave it, dog photo, with golden retriever, because that's the name of this photo. Okay, so the rest of it really is just text. We have maximum strength, we have glucosamine chews for dogs, and then there's some copy here, and then there's a logo down here. Okay, so let's start building the text. Now in Photoshop, we'll put in glucosamine chews first. Okay, it really doesn't matter what text you put in, but we'll do that first. Okay, so I am going to get on the text tool, okay, the T, and when I click, it's going to automatically make a new layer, a text layer. Okay, even though this layer is selected, every time you use the text tool, it always creates a separate layer. Okay, Photoshop just automatically does that. So I'm going to just randomly click, okay, and it just spits out some text. And we know that it gives you kind of this, lorem ipsum text. We're going to change this. Now the typeface that I'm using is Helios Antique. And I'm not sure in the example when I do the demo tomorrow whether I'm going to use Helios, but I think I will. I think I'll put that typeface in the downloads folder, in the assets folder for you so that you can load Helios, because it's a really nice typeface. It's a sans serif typeface. It's very modern. It's very current. And anyway, so Helios Antique, and it's the Helios Antique Black. And if you notice, Helios Antique has lots of different weights of fonts. Okay, they have everything from thin, regular, semi-bold, heavy, all the way to black, all the way to heavy. Okay, and we're going to use the Helios Black. Okay, so I'm going to change this to Helios. It is black. Okay, now the point size, instead of fishing around and trying to find a point size, I'll give you the point size right now. It's 85 points, and the leading is 74. So if you come over here to your palette configuration here, you can see under properties, okay, that you have your type attributes here. And if you spin this down, you have more type attributes. But in this case, this is the typeface Helios black. And we're going to make the font size, just double click in here, 85. Okay, so type in 85. And then I will make the leading here. Okay, see how it changed to 85? I'll make the leading 74. Okay, let me get all of those out. 74. Okay, and just click in here. So it's 85 over 74. I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to type in glucosamine, and then hit my return key and choose. Okay, and I think, oh, what it did was it changed to auto. So I'm going to click this again and make it 74, enter. Okay, so it's nice and tight to this word glucosamine. Okay, now if you notice, the typeface is also in gray. So under swatches here, I just chose kind of a medium gray here, and you should have samples of different grays. If you don't, just go to grayscale here, spin down the grayscale, and choose a kind of medium gray, you know, maybe 50, 60% or something like that. Will be fine. So we have glucosamine choose, 85 points in gray. I'm going to grab my move tool and I'm just going to, oh, another thing that I did, let me get back on my type tool and let me highlight this, is I went over to the tracking here, see where it says VA, and I made the tracking -10. Okay, so it looks like it's tightened up letters. The letters are closer. Okay, now I'm going to move this glucosamine. I'm going to click on it with my move tool, and I'm going to move it kind of over here somewhere. I'm going to look at the example here, and I can see that the spacing around the dog's head is maybe somewhat around there, something like this. Okay. All right. Okay, now, before I go on, let me just show you what this is what's called a smart object layer. Okay, you can see it says layer here. It's linked to our vitamin jar layer. Our vitamin jar layer looks like this right now, but we deleted this in the smart layer. We deleted this graphic. So when this is the graphic, you know, here's where that was, right? We took that away and we substituted it with this dog and this text. What I'm going to do right now is save this. Okay, I'm going to do Command S on a Mac, Control S on a PC, Command S. Okay, now doesn't look like anything happened, although you saw it say saving up here. Now when I go to this vitamin jar, watch what happens. Ooh, see, I've replaced the smart layer with these two graphics. And it replaced it and inserted it in this jar mockup. Okay, so this is what's really cool about this, is that we can now, you know, kind of create our own jar bottle, and it looks, you know, very realistic. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this smart layer and add some more copy here. Okay, and what I think I'll do is, since we already have this typeface Helios black, I'm going to use the word for dogs underneath that. Okay, there's also maximum strength up here, and we'll deal with that in a minute, but let's go and put for dogs. So I'm going to take this glucosamine choose layer, and I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, by holding down I'm on my move tool. By holding down the option key, notice the cursor turns into a double arrow and I can duplicate. So I'm going to click on this glucosamine and drag it down and duplicate it. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to get back on my text tool and highlight this text, and I'm going to say for dogs. Now it's way too big, so I'll highlight this. and I'll make the point size of this, and I already prefigured this out to be 34 points. Okay, so I'll double click in here and I'll type 34, enter. Okay, and that makes, I'm going to get on the move tool again, and that makes this word for dogs 34 points. I'm going to click on it and move it underneath. Okay, and if I look at the example here, it looks like it lines up, right in between the C and the H. Okay, so right in between the C and the H, I'll select this. I'm going to use my nudge keys and nudge this over until it's right about there. Okay. Now, I'm going to use maximum, I'm going to do maximum strength next. Okay, now I already have this here, this 4 dogs. So I'll click on the 4 dogs, again, hold the Option key down and click, and this time I'm going to drag this up here, and I'm going to get on my text tool and double click, okay, or highlight this word, and I'm going to type in maximum strength. Okay, now this text is 24 points, so I'll highlight this, come over here, instead of 34 points, I'm going to double click here and make it 24 points. It's smaller, hit return. Okay, just going to move this over here so it gets out of the way here so we can see. All right, so maximum strength, it's lining up with this text right here. You see that? There's an alignment going on right here, and that's done on purpose. I'm going to move that maximum strength down a little bit. Okay, so that's set. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in all of this text here. Okay, and just so I can see it, it says 1 daily chew helps support healthy joints. Okay, bear with me as I do this. What I'm going to do is let's take this maximum strength now. Let's see. The body copy is 28 points. Okay, this copy here is 28 points. So again, hold the Option key down. I'm going to click and drag this down. This time I'm going to line it up to the edge of this text here. Okay. And I'm going to get my text tool. And I'm going to, oops, don't want to do that. Let me delete that. Okay. I'm going to double click on that. And the body copy is 28 points. Okay, so I'm going to make this, I could do it up here or I can do it over here, it doesn't matter. I'll do it over here. So I'll make this 28 point text. So double click, 28 points. And the leading is going to be auto. So I'll click over here and make it auto. It's not going to be capital letters, so I'm going to make sure that I type without all caps. I don't want all caps. And it's going to say, let's see what it says, 1 daily chew helps support healthy joints. Okay, so let me just do that. 1 See, let me zoom in a little bit here because I want to, okay. Actually, the reason why it's typing in all caps is because over here I had this all caps option clicked. So I want to take this off, okay? This is the option of all of these, all of the capital letters here. Okay, I didn't say that when I did this, but just slide down and click that, and that'll get you this style here. So I'm going to click off of this style here. Just click, and it's now off. And now you can see it's regular, you know, caps and lowercase. In this case, it's Helios 24 over auto, but it's not black. It's going to be medium. Okay, so it's going to look like that. I don't know if you could see that clearly, but it's that. Okay, so again, let me double check. One daily chew helps support healthy joints. Okay, so let's do that. One daily chew, and then I'm going to hit my return key. Helps support healthy joints. Okay, let's do that again. Oops. Every time you click, sometimes it creates a new layer. Healthy joints. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the return once and twice. The next says supports mobility, and so let's do that. Yeah. Helps support mobility. Okay, and then the last one says supports normal inflammatory response. Supports normal inflam with a hyphen. Inflammatory response. Okay, something like that. All right. So this is our copy. It is in that typeface. It aligns with this. Okay, it's in medium, Helios 24 over auto. Here's our golden. And I'm going to click on the golden layer. Just click on it, and I'm going to move this guy just to the right a little bit, just to open up some more space around here. Okay, now the last thing that I'm going to do is go over to my assets and bring in this logo, okay, the logo PNG. So I'm going to target this top layer here, and I'm going to go get my logo and bring it in. So here's the logo. It says Canid Science, and just kind of click and drag it and drop it right there. Okay, so there it is. The background has already been deleted, knocked out, so it's transparent. It's too big, so I'm going to grab the corner here, and in Photoshop all we have to do is grab the corner. We don't have to do Command and Shift. And I'm going to make this smaller and then just kind of position this down here somewhere. Okay, I'm going to look over here, and it looks like there's about that much space, and then that. Okay, maybe make this a little bit bigger. Okay. And there it is. Okay. Now, if you look at the example, this green, maximum strength, is this green here. A lot of times in design, what we want to do is we want to pick up colors from different areas of, you know, the other objects. You know, like maybe we might want to even pick up a color from the, you know, from the dog. But because the logo is in green, I thought we would use that. So the way that we're going to get this color is we're going to take the eyedropper tool right there. And what we do is we just go and we select the green, just sample this green, click once, okay? And that becomes our fill color here in our, remember our fill color and our foreground fill and our background fill. Okay, now I'm just going to simply grab the text tool, highlight this text, okay, And I'm going to click whenever you see that fill color, whenever you make a color, it always adds it to your swatches up here. So you can see this color is the same as this color over here in the toolbar. Okay. And with this selected, I will just click anywhere here and I'll click. And what it does is it changes that text to that fill color. Okay. So if I get on my move tool and click off, you can see maximum strength is up here now. Okay, so we're done with this. We have all the elements on the page. We might have to tweak them a little bit in terms of position, but let's save this and we'll go over to the composite over here. Right now the composite looks like this, okay? It's what it looks like when we last saved it. So now when we come over here, let's save this file, okay? So I'm going to do Command S. Okay, and you can see it said saving. Now when I come over here, it will have everything in it. Okay, so the key here is to find the layer in your mockup where you're going to change out your graphics, and then when you find that layer, delete or turn off the visibility of whatever's on there. Okay, and then build your own graphics and save it, Command S, and that will automatically save to the mockup. The reason why we're not seeing the other is because we turned that visibility off. Okay, so let's look at the mockup now and let's see what it is. You know, is everything looking okay? Do we need to move some things? I want to do some tweaking here, a little bit of tweaking. Actually, I kind of want to make the dog a little bit smaller. So I'm going to come over here to the dog graphic. I'm going to click on it. Okay, it selects it in the layers palette. I'm going to do Command T, and I want to just kind of grab a corner and make this guy a little bit smaller, something like that. Okay. And that opens up some space over here. So that's going to allow me to kind of move everything down. And that's what I want to do. I want to move everything but the dog down. So I'm going to come over to my layers panel here. Let me open up the layers panel here a little bit more so we can see more of all the layers here. I'm going to start with everything but the dog. So it's from here, I'm going to hold the Shift key down and I'm going to click to the last part. So it selects all of these text layers and the logo. And now that they're all selected, the dog will not move. I'm going to click on this and just kind of slowly move this down a little bit. So see how all the text layers are moving? And bring it down to maybe about here. Now, it looks like there's a lot of space here, but now I'm going to save it, Command S, okay? Whatever you do here, whenever you save, it applies it here, okay? And that looks a little bit better now, okay? So for the most part, I'm pretty happy with this, but now let's take a look at maybe some other things we can do with this. Number one, if we go now we're on the main mockup layer, okay? And if we go to mockup here and I spin this down, okay, the designer of this mockup has added a bunch of other things here. See how he's added a light reflection? If I turn that off, you can see right here, it's on and off. Okay, and I like it better off because you could read the text better. Okay, I understand why he's doing that because he wants to make it look more three-dimensional. But in this case, I'm going to turn off his light reflection. He's also given us the ability to change the color of the cap. And right now the cap is white. I like white, but if you wanted to change the cap color, you can click on this white square here. Okay, double click, and you can change this to any color you want. Let's say I wanted the cap color to be kind of a golden color like this. Okay, I can move this up, look in here at some of the browns, okay, and start moving this around, literally clicking and holding moving this around and watching this change as I, play around with this. Okay. So I could do something like that, but I don't really like that. I like it white, but anyway, so I'm going to cancel out of this and I'll go back to white. I think white is, looks better. Okay, then main files. Spin this down and you have a shadow here, okay? Now this is the main object, so if I turn this off, everything goes away. This is what we created. We need that on. The main object is the jar itself, so if I turn that off, the whole jar goes away. But this is the shadow at the bottom. So if I turn that off, there's no shadow anymore. Now, the shadow makes it look like it's sitting on the floor or sitting on a surface. Okay, maybe you don't want it to look like that. Maybe you wanted it to be, in an advertisement where there's nothing, you wanted it floating, so you might want to turn off the shadow. I'm going to keep the shadow on. And last is the background. Okay, see the red thing here? The red thing allows you to change the whole color of the background. So if I double click on this background, you can see, again, I can change the background to any color I want. As I move this around, the background will change, to whatever color you want. I like white because I think white works the best with the white jar, okay? But that's how you would do it. I'll click cancel. Okay, this can also be a photograph. If you wanted to change the background to a photograph, you can do that. Anyway, these are some of the other options that the designer is giving you. Okay, so I'm going to spin these mock-ups up. Okay, so that's how you would create your own graphic on a pre-existing designed mock-up by opening it up and going to the smart layer, the smart object layer, which was this layer. I'm going to hold the option key down and click just this bottom layer here, and everything gets turned off but the bottom layer. When you hold the option key down and you click these eyeballs here, you get everything will turn off but what you're clicking. If I option clicked for dogs, that's all that shows. If I option click the golden retriever, that's all that shows. So I'm going to option click this layer, and this is the way it was. And what we did was we just turned that off and we started from scratch and we built the dog first. And then we started adding all of these layers. We saved it, and then we got this. Okay. Now, what you'll do from here is you'll export this, or you'll save this out. And you'll probably save this out as a JPEG. And this is something that you can upload to a portfolio site like Behance. Show your package design. We could output this as a JPEG and email it to our client to see what they think about it. We can do different versions of this and send them. We can compose different versions of this all in one file. So we'd have one bottle here, the next bottle next to it. We could have 4 bottles across with all different design ideas and let the client choose which one they like. Okay. But the point of this tutorial is simply how to create a mock-up, how to open up a mock-up and recognize the different layers involved and where you make those changes. Okay, so that is go back here, and that is the way that you would handle a mock-up. There are several sites, and there's more sites than the ones that I mentioned, Graphic Pair and FreePic. All you have to do is Google free mockups, and you'll go to a lot of sites. One thing I want to kind of warn you about, though, is that when you do go to some of these free mockup sites, they might ask for information. Graphic Pair when you register, asks you for an email address so that they can send you an email. You click on it, and that confirms, they're going to make you create a username and password, and then they'll send you an email, and then you'll click on that, and now you're registered. But some of these other sites, when you click on a download, a mockup, and you click download, it'll take you to another site and another site, and I wouldn't even mess with that, okay? If they're asking you for, if it doesn't immediately download, then move on, okay? Because you never know what's going to happen. You don't want viruses downloaded to your computer. So be careful. You can also Google safe mockup sites. That's what I would do first. But I gave you 2 of them that are safe. I've used them for, many classes, and everything's fine. So, and you can use those sites in class if you want to. Okay, so that is my tutorial on mockups. And again, I'm going to do this in class tomorrow. But if you miss class for some reason, you can reference this. Now, the Hulu assignment that you're currently working on, you will be putting that graphic inside of a mockup. So now you know a little bit about how mockups work. And I'll go over that one too. Okay? So, see ya.